Hey guys, this video covers rounding, decimal points, and significant figures. The entire playlist teaching IGCSE math will be in the description and at the end of the video. Rounding. Say you were talking about the distance between the sun and the earth right now. You would have to say 151,599,303 kilometers every single time you wanted to mention it. Now, this would take too long to say. Instead, wouldn't you want to say something like 152 million every time? Rounding. Rounding is a way of approximating a number so that it can be represented easier. The result is less accurate, but it is easier to use. Numbers 0 to 4 are rounded down to 0 and numbers 5 to 9 are rounded up to 10. For example, rounding 127,824. Now, 4 is in the ones place, 2 is in the tens place, 8 is in the hundreds, 7 is in the thousands, and 2 is in the 10,000s. Now, if we were rounding to the nearest tens place, we're going to be changing the number 2 up or down. Now, the number to the right of 2 is a 4, and we know that numbers 0 to 4 are rounded down to 0. So 24 would be changed to 20 as we round down. So our answer is 127,820. Now if we were to round to the nearest 100, the number 8 would be the number we are changing, as that's in the hundreds position. Now the number to the right of 8 is a 2, and we know that numbers 0 to 4 are rounded down to 0. So 824 would be written 800. So our answer is 127,800. Now, if we were rounding to the thousands place, the number 7 is a number we would be changing, as 7 is in the thousands place. Now, the number to the right of 7 is an 8, and we know that numbers 5 to 9 are rounded up to 10. So our answer would be 8,000. So our final answer is 128,000. Now, isn't that so much easier to work with than 127,824? Questions. Round 324 to the nearest tens. So 3, 2, 4. Now 4 is in the ones place, 24 is in the tens place, and 324 is in the hundreds place. So we're going to be rounding to the tenth place, and that's number 2. And the number to the right of 2 is a 4, and we know that numbers 0 to 4 are rounded down. So our answer would be a 320. Now round 4,792 to the nearest hundreds. Now in our ones place we have 2, in our tens place we have 92, in our hundreds place we have 792. So the number 7 is a number we will be changing. The number to the right of a 7 is a 9, and we know that numbers 5 to 9 are rounded up. So our answer would be 4,800. Now round 6,802 to the nearest thousands. So in our ones place we have a 2, in our tens place we still have a 2, in our hundreds place we have an 802, and in our thousands place we have a 6,802. So the number 6 is a number we would be rounding. Now the number to the right of 6 is 8, and we know that numbers 5 to 9 are rounded up. So we would be rounding 6 up to a 7. Our answer is 7,000. Rounding also works with decimals. Each number after the decimal point is a decimal place, often abbreviated to DP. For example, rounding 0.8365. Now 8 is our first decimal place, 3 is our second, 6 is our third, and 5 is our fourth. So if we were rounding to the first decimal place, 8 would be the number we would be changing. The number to the right of 8 is a 3, and we know that numbers 0 to 4 are rounded down. So our answer would just be 0.8. Now second decimal place. Second decimal place, we would be changing 3, as 3 in the second decimal place. Now the number to the right of 3 is a 6, and we know that numbers 5 to 9 are rounded up. So our answer would be 0.84. Now third decimal place. We know that the third decimal place is a 6. So 6 would be the number we are rounding. The number to the right of 6 is a 5, and we know that numbers 5 to 9 are rounded up. So our answer would be 0.837 as we round 6 to a 7. Significant figures are also used to approximate numbers so that they are easier to use. The first significant figure is the first non-zero digit. Every digit after the first significant figure is another significant figure. For example, 3248. Now our first significant figure is a 3. So 3 is our first significant figure, 2 is our second, 4 is our third, and 8 is our fourth significant figure. So if we were rounding to the first significant figure, 3 would be the number we would be changing. Now the number to the right of 3 is a 2, and we know that numbers 0 to 4 are rounded down. So our answer would be 3000. Now to round to the second significant figure, we would be changing the number 2. Now the number to the right of 2 is a 4, and we know that numbers 0 to 4 are rounded down. So our answer would be 3200. Now third significant figure is a 4, and if you're rounding to third significant figure, the number we would be changing is a 4, and we know that the number to the right of 4 is an 8, and numbers 5 to 9 are rounded up. So our answer would be 3250. Significant figures also work with decimals. Decimals can have zeros before non-zero numbers appear. The zeros are ignored as the first significant figure is the first non-zero digit. For example, 0.003645. Now the first 3 zeros are ignored as the first significant figure is the first non-zero digit. 3 is our first non-zero digit. So 3 is going to be our first significant figure, 6 is our second, 4 is our third, and 5 is our fourth significant figure. Now if we were rounding to the first significant figure, 3 is the number we would be changing. The number to the right of 3 is a 6, and we know that numbers 5 to 9 are rounded up. So 3 is rounded up to a 4. Now if we were rounding to second significant figure, 6 is the number we would be changing. The number to the right of 6 is a 4, and we know that numbers 0 to 4 are rounded down. So our answer would be 0.0036. Now if we were rounding to the third significant figure, the number 4 is the number we would be changing. The number to the right of 4 is a 5, and we know that 5 is rounded up. So our answer would be 0.00365. Questions. Round 7436 to two significant figures. So two significant figures would be 74, and the number we will be changing will be a 4. Now the number to the right of 4 is a 3, and we know that 3 is rounded down. So our answer would just be 7400. Second question. 0.02139. Our first significant figure would be a 2 as 0 is ignored. 1 would be our second significant figure, and 3 would be our third significant figure. So 3 is the number we would be changing. The number to the right of 3 is a 9, and we know that 9 is rounded up. So our answer is simply 0.0214. Third question. Round 56.39 to three significant figures. Our first significant figure is a 5, our second is a 6, and our third significant figure is a 3. So 3 is a number we would be changing. The number to the right of 3 is a 9, and we know that 9 is rounded up. So 3 would be rounded to a 4. So our answer is just 56.4. Thank you all for watching. Tell me if I helped you understand rounding, decimal points, and significant figures a bit better down in the comments. Subscribe for more IGCSE content and like to help grow the channel. Thank you.